The giraffe is a large African hoofed mammal belonging to the genus Giraffe. It is the tallest living terrestrial animal and the largest ruminant on Earth. A giraffe's legs alone are taller than many humans, about 6 feet. These long legs allow giraffes to run as fast as 35 miles an hour over short distances and cruise comfortably at 10 miles an hour over longer distances. Giraffes use their height to good advantage and browse on leaves and buds in treetops that few other animals can reach. Acacias are a favorite. Even the giraffe's tongue is long. The 21-inch tongue helps them pluck tasty morsels from branches. Giraffes eat most of the time and, like cows, regurgitate food and chew it as cud. A giraffe eats hundreds of pounds of leaves each week and must travel miles to find enough food. The giraffe's height also helps it to keep a sharp lookout for predators across the wide expanse of the African savanna. The giraffe's stature can be a disadvantage as well. It is difficult and dangerous for a giraffe to drink at a water hole. To do so, they must spread their legs and bend down in an awkward position that makes them vulnerable to predators like Africa's big cats. Giraffes only need to drink once every several days. They get most of their water from the luscious plants they eat. Female giraffes give birth standing up. Their young endure a rather rude welcome into the world by falling more than 5 feet to the ground at birth. These infants can stand in half an hour and run with their mothers an incredible 10 hours after birth. Typically, these fascinating animals roam the open grasslands in small groups of about half a dozen. Bulls sometimes battle one another by butting their long necks and heads. Such contests aren't usually dangerous and end when one animal submits and walks away. Giraffes are polygamous, so a few males mate with one female. Females tend to give birth to a single calf around 400 to 460 days after mating. Females give birth whilst standing up. Females first breed at 4 or 5 years of age. The single offspring is about 2 meters, 6 feet, tall and weighs 100 kilograms, 220 pounds. For a week the mother licks and nuzzles her calf in isolation while they learn each other's scent. Thereafter, the calf joins a nursery group of similar-aged youngsters, while mothers forage at variable distances. If lions or hyenas attack, a mother sometimes stands over her calf, kicking at the predators with front and back legs. Cows have food and water requirements that may keep them away from the nursery group for hours at a time, and about half of very young calves are killed by lions and hyenas. Calves sample vegetation at 3 weeks but suckle for 18 to 22 months. Males join other bachelors when 1 to 2 years old, whereas daughters are likely to stay near the mother. Giraffes prefer to eat new shoots and leaves, mainly from the thorny acacia tree. Cows in particular select high-energy low-fiber items. They are prodigious eaters, and a large male consumes about 65 kilograms, 145 pounds, of food per day. The tongue and inside of the mouth are coated with tough tissue as protection. The giraffe grasps leaves with its prehensile lips or tongue and pulls them into the mouth. If the foliage is not thorny, the giraffe combs leaves from the stem by pulling it across the lower canine and incisor teeth. Giraffes obtain most water from their food, though in the dry season they drink at least every 3 days. They must spread the forelegs apart in order to reach the ground with the head. The giraffe requires less food than many other herbivores because the foliage it eats has more concentrated nutrients and it has a more efficient digestive system. The animal's feces come in the form of small pellets. When it has access to water, a giraffe will go no more than 3 days without drinking. Giraffes have a great effect on the trees that they feed on, delaying the growth of young trees for some years and giving waistlines to too tall trees. Feeding is at its highest during the first and last hours of daytime. Between these hours, giraffes mostly stand and ruminate. Rumination is the dominant activity during the night, when it is mostly done lying down. Giraffes are usually found in groups that vary in size and composition according to ecological, anthropogenic, temporal, and social factors. The number of giraffes in a group can range from 1 up to 66 individuals. Giraffe groups tend to be sex segregated, although mixed sex groups made of adult females and young males also occur. Particularly stable giraffe groups are those made of mothers and their young, which can last weeks or months. Young males also form groups and will engage in play fights. However, as they get older, males become more solitary but may also associate in pairs or with female groups. Giraffes are not territorial, but they have home ranges that vary according to rainfall and proximity to human settlements. Male giraffes occasionally roam far from areas that they normally frequent. Male giraffes use their necks as weapons in combat, a behavior known as necking. Necking is used to establish dominance, and males that win necking bouts have greater reproductive success. A necking duel can last more than half an hour, depending on how well matched the combatants are. Although most fights do not lead to serious injury, there have been records of broken jaws, broken necks, and even deaths. Giraffes have high adult survival probability, and an unusually long lifespan compared to other ruminants, up to 38 years. Because of their size, eyesight, and powerful kicks, adult giraffes are mostly safe from predation, with lions being their only major threats. Calves are much more vulnerable than adults and are also preyed on by leopards, spotted hyenas, and wild dogs. A quarter to a half of giraffe calves reach adulthood. Calf survival varies according to the season of birth, with calves born during the dry season having higher survival rates. The local, seasonal presence of large herds of migratory wildebeests and zebras reduces predation pressure on giraffe calves and increases their survival probability. The giraffe circulatory system has several adaptations to compensate for its great height. Heart must generate approximately double the blood pressure required for a human to maintain blood flow to the brain. Giraffes have relatively high heart rates for their size, at 150 beats per minute.